Late Night Health continues. Jim-lavelle, registered pharmacist and a clinical nutritionist, clinical pharmacist, board-certified clinical nutritionist, and author of Your Blood Never Lies, joins us now. We're going to talk about SAD with the change in time over the last couple of days, last week. We thought this would be a great thing to talk about. Jim, welcome back to Late Night Health.
Oh, it's great to be on.
About a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I was in Las Vegas, and you and I met up. You grabbed my hand and stuck me and took my blood. And I don't know if you remember the number or not. I do.
What was your number?
My number was 100, and you said...
yeah. Okay.
Okay. And you said, when did you eat last? And I'd eaten a muffin, like a chocolate muffin for breakfast an hour before I saw you.
Right.
Right? And you said, not bad.
The breakfast of champions.
Yeah, it was a bad breakfast. I knew it, but I was hungry. I had to do something. But you said it wasn't bad at 100. I guess normally it should be. It was a glucose tolerance test, and it should have been... I guess.
It could have been up to 140 an hour after a chocolate muffin, and you'd have been okay. So you actually did real well on that.
I wasn't sure. I was scared.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm surprised when people get scared of getting their blood sugar. It's like one of the easiest things to do, and it is the number one thing you can control to help your aging process is keeping your blood sugars down. So, it's important.
It is important, but sugar tastes good.
Well, you know what? All in moderation, and I think there's strategies that you can do to fix that, too. So, certainly things like, taking an enzyme like phase 2, an enzyme blocker like phase 2 will help out with that. So, for me, if I know I'm going to have a piece of birthday cake or I know I'm going to be somewhere where there's going to be some sweets, I just plan around it, and I take something that's going to inhibit the starch absorption because, bottom line is 1 out of 2 people are diabetic or pre-diabetic in the U.S. So, actually North America, Canada's just as bad.
And it's raging. I mean, diabetes type 2 used to be called juvenile diabetes, is now diabetes type 2, and it's at epidemic proportions.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's a big problem, no doubt. And I'll tell you what, when people get depressed due to season changes, it increases their desire for carbohydrates. They eat more, they gain weight, and they end up causing alterations in their blood sugar because they're eating more comfort foods in order to kind of help them get through those winter months when they're having problems. So it's our topic. It actually feeds into, I hate to use that term, feeds into, but it really does feed into the problem because come winter months and the holidays, people simply overeat, and many times it's because of mood changes.
Interesting. Here in California, we've been experiencing a drought. We had a little drizzle this week in Southern California, and I mean a little. It was like the Green Giant.
Sprinkle.
It was a sprinkle. The Green Giant kind of went, and it wasn't much, right?
Right.
Even though we have a lot of sunshine here in Southern California, as compared to the Midwest and the East Coast, where they'll have rain and snow and sleet and all this. Are we still affected by what has been called seasonal affective disorder?
Well, we don't get it as bad. I'm in Chicago today. When you get up and it's gloomy and you go to work and you come out of work and at 4:30 it's dark, the Midwest has some real problems with seasonal affective disorder. However, if you're getting up early and you're not getting sunshine, you need that sunshine to tell your brain to make serotonin and reduce something called serotonin transporter in your brain. When you don't get the sunshine, it definitely makes a difference. And, I'll tell you, when I moved from Ohio to California, the first thing I noticed is in general people were happier. So I think it is better. But the other issue is it gets dark really early. When they first changed that clock back a couple of days ago, I was looking outside going, it's only 7 o'clock. I feel like I've been in the dark for hours now.
You know, it's funny. Yeah, we said that last night. It was 5:30, 6 o'clock. It was dark out.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. By 6 o'clock, it's pitch black. And, you know, and it's the thing is you'll know if you're affected by seasonal affective disorder. Some people just, if they don't get enough sunlight, it's going to affect them, because when you get seasonal affective disorder, you notice that from fall to spring, before we move the clocks and before the sun's back out as good as it could be, you notice that you get more carb cravings, like I mentioned, which is something a lot of people don't realize, but it's you sleep more, so it's almost like you feel like hibernating. You don't realize, but so you get energy slumps. So you can feel tired, and you can get big energy slumps during the course of the day. And then you can have things like there's actually a situation where your limbs get heavy. So you actually, when you have seasonal affective disorder, your legs will feel like you're walking through quicksand. And that's when people really have it bad. And then, of course, you can be more irritable, too. You know, that happens, too. And so there's some big things that happen when you have seasonal affective disorder. I think one of the big ones, though, is that, you know what, in the winter months, people eat more starch, their blood sugars go up, they put on 10 pounds. Every year that happens, and it's harder and harder for them to get it off. And, you know, I think it's important for people to kind of link it. Hey, is it the weather? Am I kind of blue? Because there's things they could do.
And the mood swing also, depression increases at this point.
Oh, without a doubt. And I mean, seasonal affective disorder is a form of depression. And so one of the things that I recommend that people do is like, look, when you get up in the morning, open up the curtains, get the sunlight to hit your eyes, get out and exercise. A lot of times in the winter months, not so much for us Californians, but for a lot of the other parts of the country, exercise is tougher in the winter. I don't want to go outside.
It's cold.
So you have to, kind of schedule it. And then the other one is you've got to really think about if it's winter and you're cold and it's dark, go somewhere warm and sunny for a week for your vacation. You don't always have to vacation in the summer when your weather might be great. Take a vacation in the winter.
And one thing that you say is to cuddle.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. It's interesting. I tell people, look, get more hugs in, because when you get more hugs in, you literally create reduced stress, reduced anxiety, helps mood, helps your immune system, and all those things benefit. And I think when you get grumpy, here's the thing, right? When you get grumpy, if you are affected by the weather, it's the last thing you're doing is thinking about cuddling more and hugging a loved one, right? And one of the big ones, other than just syncing with the sun, like I said, you got to carb-proof the diet. When you're going into the holidays, use white kidney bean extract, which is fantastic. They can use Phase 2, which is the brand of the raw material that you'll find in a lot of different companies' products out there. But Phase 2 is the one that's done all the clinical studies that showed it'll block up to 65% of your carbohydrate intake.
How do you
spell that?
Your
bloodstream doesn't spike your blood sugar.
How do you spell that?
Amazing.
How do you spell that?
PHASE2.
Got it.
Phase 2. White kidney bean extract.
And
it's pretty interesting because when it doesn't digest the starch, that means the starch also goes to your intestine, feeds the beneficial flora, the good probiotics everybody's reading about nowadays.
Right.
And those probiotics are dictating the hormones that are controlling your appetite. You don't even realize that, but it's the bugs controlling your appetite.
Well, the probiotics I found to be very beneficial personally in a number of areas. By taking taking them on a regular basis, it seems to help with not sleep apnea. What is it that we've talked about, Daryl? You have no idea either, do you?
Well, probiotics help you everywhere from regulating your immune system to GI health. I mean, there's a lot of benefits.
Right.
You're talking about
but the thing is to realize is when you take that Phase 2, you're feeding your natural probiotics. So if you're taking probiotics and you're not getting resistant starch, meaning you're not getting a high-fiber diet, you're not eating lots of vegetables and getting that fiber. Fiber is what is needed. Resistant starch is what feeds the flora and keeps them healthy and keeps them sending out all of those immune signals, breaking down hormones. And, and let's just face it, during the winter months, people are carving it up, man. You're going to parties, you got Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving carries over a week because you always make too much stuffing. Then you start going to Christmas parties. People are bringing stuff in. And you're just thinking, hey, it's just a couple cookies. It's just a piece of banana bread. It's just a cake, right?
Exactly.
And it adds up.
But a day without chocolate, is that also like a day without sunshine?
Well, a day without dark chocolate is like a day without sunshine. Well, at least make it healthy chocolate.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Our guest is Jim-Lavelle, and he has written like 20 books, including Your Blood Never Lies. And one of the things that is interesting to me is this disorder called Seasonal Affective Disorder. While in Southern California we may not have it, but Florida, New Mexico, New York, other parts of the country. What about places like Portland or Seattle? I mean, they see 20 days of a year of sunshine.
Well, real prone for depression in those areas, right?
Yes.
So here's what happens. I mean, I got to tell you, they just discovered why it happened. So it's very interesting to me. When you don't get enough sunshine into your eyes, so there's people that are affected more than others. The people that are affected, you have this protein that basically carries serotonin back to be reused. And when you have seasonal affective disorder, you make too much of this thing called serotonin transporter. So you're getting it out of your nervous system and back into the neurons, but it's not able to be used. So you have less available serotonin. And when you have low serotonin, you're going to have the winter blues. That's why all these antidepressants are out there, right?
Absolutely.
Because it helps to raise your serotonin pool. But they've just recently figured that out. And so if you're, first of all, if you're in those areas, you need to get your vitamin D checked. And even if you're in California, you need to get your vitamin D checked. But they know that vitamin D can help people with seasonal affective disorder.
And I understand,
a full-spectrum light.
And I understand that a big percentage of people are deficient in vitamin D. We'll talk about that. The other thing I wanted to mention is reading at night. Okay, I read every night before I go to sleep. I'm reading all kinds of books, mostly on my iPad, and that has a blue light or daylight. And I want to ask you if that is okay, or if I should go back and reading, books that are printed on paper.
Put your iPad in grayscale, then you're okay.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea. I didn't know that. Jim and
you want to do it like Kindle, kind of like in the gray tones. Then it won't affect you as much. If you've got that full spectrum blue light, that'll affect your sleep pattern. So whereas seasonal affective disorder,
Jim, hold on a second.
Hold
on a second. We're going to take some time out. When we come back, we'll continue. I'm Mark Alyn. This is Late Night Health. Don't go away.